What's going on, guys? Dr. Typo here, playing some Grand Theft Auto 5. So, I've kind of touched on this a little bit before, some of the things that I kind of want in Grand Theft Auto Online. And in the video, that I had done before, it was just a random gameplay. I'm pretty sure it was just a team deathmatch, so you really don't need to pay much attention to what you see going on here, because it is completely, well, irrelevant. Instead, however, you can just listen to what I'm saying and kind of try to follow along and understand like where I'm coming from with this. And one of the things I was really thinking about, and I think I might have just briefly mentioned it in my other video, was perks. I think they should add some form of perks to Grand Theft Auto Online. And I'm not saying they have to be anything majorly game breaking. They don't have to all be even centered around like deathmatch perks, perks that would increase your damage output or things like that. They don't have to be all related to that. Some of them could be like Pegasus will deliver vehicles to you instead of you having to go get them. Obviously with boats it would be a little bit different. You wouldn't be able to have boats delivered to you. And I'd actually reached out to some people on Reddit and stuff, and asked some people what they wanted, and some of these like that one there with the Pegasus delivery, that was submitted by a Redditor who thought that would be a great idea, and I agree. I think something like an instant Pegasus delivery to you would be a great idea. Also things like reduced wanted time would be a great idea, and they could even add different ranks to some of these, so you could unlock them by doing different things, like different awards could be on, like you would unlock perks, or you can unlock them by levels, by winning team death matches, winning races, stuff like that. But I feel like perks would kind of help, make each player a little bit more unique, especially if you had, like a whole array of them, things like, for example, let's say you would have a major and a minor perk, and as a major one, a player could have something like, it reduces their ammo costs, like you're spending, for every one shot you fire, you're instead only spending half a bullet, so every one shot becomes 2. And that could that could be something that had different ranks to it as well, instead of it automatically being, one shot is 2, instead one shot is 0.7 bullets or something like that. I mean, they would find some sort of number in there to make it so, over a 60 round mag or something like that, it actually added up. And then you would also be able to have, somewhat of a minor perk with that, something that gave you like infinite sprint, or whenever you were in passive mode, you were invisible on radar. When somebody aims at you, your name doesn't pop up above your head. Perhaps you could increase your personal vehicle's top speed, by a percentage, and that's something that could have different ranks, like 5, 10, and 15%, and these are just examples. Obviously, they would probably need to normalize, any of these numbers that I'm going to use, because they may be a little bit outrageous and too, quote-unquote, overpowered. And I guess that's one thing that you're going to kind of get into when you see perks, is everything will be kind of cookie cutter at one point, where people are just using like the best thing for damage output or something like that. People found the way to take the least amount of damage and things like that. But I really think that perks would they would add a little bit more quote unquote individuality to to the different players. They'd make everybody a little bit more unique in the fact that a lot of people are going to have a lot of different perks set up. This guy, he's going to be able to run fast, and this guy, he's going to be able to reload faster or aim down his sights faster. And it would help kind of, add a little bit more planning when it came to doing missions and survivals and team death matches and stuff like that. You might, if you're with a crew, you might, like have, a group of guys who spread their perks out, to cover a lot more ground, to be a little bit more tactical about it. Or you might have guys who, just all slap on, increased health, regen, things like that, and, just become straight tanks. And then it would also be kind of nice, because this would perks could be something, that you would change them in your apartment's closet. Like you change your clothes, and it would help bring a little bit more functionality to your apartments. I mean, I don't know how much time you actually spend in your apartment, but this is something that would make you want to go there a little bit more often. And speaking of which, another thing that I wanted to talk about was, something like a passive bonus system, where if you go to your apartment and you drink the green juice that you have, say that you have, one of the high dollar apartments and the green juice is available to you and you drink it, it would be nice if that gave you something, like a increased health regen speed or something like that. Or maybe if you, when you logged out of the game, if you logged out in your apartment and you were gone for an extended amount of time, you got like a rested RP bonus, like some MMOs and stuff like that. They do something similar to that. You could do something, with the shower too, to make that a little bit more functional. And, I don't know, you take a shower, you earn like a percentage more of extra cash from doing jobs and stuff like that. These are just, ideas and all speculation. None of it is anything set in stone. I mean, any of these ideas might never make it any farther than, this YouTube video. But who knows, Rockstar might have, their own little perk system up their sleeve. But I really think, it's something that would, help, change the game a little bit and a little bit for the better. I'm not saying, copy off of Call of Duty, because I mean, when I think of the word perks, I don't really think of Call of Duty right off the top of my head. I mean, don't get me wrong, in every Call of Duty game there has been perks, and they have had 1, 2, and 3 different ones. But anytime that you get perks, they're usually centered just around blowing shit up, killing people, things like that. These could be stuff, like they'll make you bunny hop higher. Things like that, that aren't going to be game breaking. They aren't really going to change the game a whole lot except for the individual. But then you also have, like perks that are going to help out for heists and stuff, where, this guy, he can hack better, or he can crack a safe better, he can carry more money, things like that. And I've heard plenty of excellent ideas from some of my subscribers, some of the guys on Reddit, and some of my my Twitter followers too have come up with a couple great ideas for some perks in Grand Theft Auto Online. So if you have any ideas or improvements, like upon a perks or a passive buff, kind of system like that, you can go ahead and leave it in the comment box. I mean, it might not make it any farther than this, or it might not make it any farther than the little thread that it is right now on Reddit, but you never know. But I hope you guys like this idea, like these ideas. I really think it would add a little bit more flair to the game if every player was a little bit more of a unique snowflake, I suppose. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you did. Take 2 and call me in the morning.